Executive Committee member of the People's Struggle Alliance, Duminda Nagamur, responded to the statement issued by Ranil Wickramasinghe.
There are several recommendations and findings in this report. If you look at the sentences in the report, it speaks about handing over housing complexes to the police. But this has been identified as a torture chamber. This torture chamber has been allocated to the police by Ranil Wickramasinghe. Ranil Wickramasinghe has laid the foundation stone for the establishment of this torture chamber. The fourth finding states that Ranil Wickramasinghe had abused his authority as the Minister of Industries. This is the plan of the Batalanda torture houses. This B2 house in Batalanda. Who does it belong to? These reports clearly state that from May in 1989 to August 1994, it was used as the office of Ranil Wickramasinghe. Not only his office, he also had a resort here. This report states that they held meetings here. This report clearly states that these meetings and the inhumane murders that took place here cannot be separated. They had gone to these torture chambers, determined the punishments, and watched these tortures take place. That is what had happened here. The 10th finding states that these meetings had not been recognized by the police department, nor had they been arranged on directions of the Ministry of Defence. These meetings were attended by DIG MMR Meril Gunaratna, SSP Nalin Delgoda and ASP Douglas Pieris. These meetings were hosted at Ranil Wickramasinghe's official residence and his resort. The report states that these discussions were chaired by Ranil Wickramasinghe. It adds that Ranil Wickramasinghe had no authority in summoning these meetings and he has clearly abused his authority. He says that no recommendations have been made against him. What does the second recommendation clearly say? It states, as stated in the preceding chapters, we have observed serious violations of human rights by both senior police officers and a politician of the then government. The only politician referred to in this report is Ranil Wickramasinghe. The report has also not referred to politicians. Therefore, they are specifically speaking about Ranil Wickramasinghe. The Commission recommends that the Supreme Court be vested with suitable additional jurisdiction to impose suitable sanctions in the form of deprivation of civic rights on persons who are found to repeatedly violate basic fundamental rights of citizens. This is the point here. Chandrika Kumaratunga had also played a small game here. Chandrika wanted to protect Ranil. This report was prepared based on a 1949 Act. According to that Act, the Commission does not have the power to suspend civic rights. This Commission has clearly recommended that the civic rights of these individuals be suspended as a first step. The Commission has also recommended that legal action be filed against them. Chandrika had not filed any action against these either. Now Ranil Wickramasinghe cannot say that there are no recommendations and that there is no recommendation to file legal action. The report clearly recommends for legal action to be filed and for his civic rights to be suspended.
Duminda Nagamur also spoke about ASP Douglas Pieris.
This is Douglas Pieris, who was a popular torturer at the Batalanda torture chamber. These are his two children. They had posed for a fun picture with a person who had been tortured and who couldn't even stand. This was first published on the CA magazine. This is a group photo of their family. When you look at these two photographs, you can clearly see that these are his two children that are posing for this photograph. Not only Douglas Pieris, even his children have had fun here. This is another child who is having fun by posing for a picture with two weapons. These pictures came out in 1997. These pictures were taken by a person from an album at his house. Those who released these pictures did so by putting their lives on the line.
Views were expressed regarding Sudat Jayasekara, who is a person who served under Ranil Wickramasinghe for a long time.
This is Sudat Chandrasekhara, who is referred to in this report. He is a person who functioned as the private secretary of Ranil Wickramasinghe for a considerable period of time. When he resigned, he wrote a long letter to Ranil Wickramasinghe. At one point in the letter, he says that everyone, including you, have forgotten of how I, together with Mangala Samaravira, led the Kurundupolu Hamudava and also coordinated the communication teams to protect you and the party. He goes on to tell Ranil Wickramasinghe, because of you, I became a murderer of Batalanda. I became the murderer of Gamini Atukorala. I became the murderer of Renzi Algama, who set himself ablaze opposite Sirikota. He has made a confession here. He says, I became the murderer of Batalanda for you. What are the steps that are going to be taken against these? Various people are coming forward and giving evidence about what happened at the Batalanda torture chamber. There are eyewitnesses to these murders. These eyewitnesses say that Ranil Wickremesinghe was connected to these murders. When there is so much evidence, we ask the government, what is holding them back from arresting him and suspending his civic rights?
හවුස් කරන්න නොකරන්න තියෙන හේතුව මොකක්ද කියන එක අපි ආණ්ඩුව විමසිය යුතුයි.